Hi, this is welcome to Inspiration Daily for November 22nd, 2021. I'm your host, Gina Greenlee of GinaGreenlee.com. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Doesn't that just don't you just want to make something yummy? Well, it turns out that's exactly what I did, honey. This is let me get myself together. Thai style coconut and carrot soup. And may I say, delish. That's today's inspiration. Thai style coconut and carrot soup. It just looks yummy. And it is yummy. This recipe inspired me to cook this homemade soup. I love soup, and I've been eating a lot of canned soup, which I have to admit is not very inspiring. It's just not. Those supposedly more fresh soups, kettle cooked and whatever, they come in a box now. But anything that sits on a shelf is just not going to taste fresh. So I can cook. Excuse me. I just don't. I have cooked, and I've cooked some very elaborate meals in my lifetime. But I'm in a stage of my life where I just want to eat. So I assemble, I microwave, and when I do cook, I like things to be delicious and fresh, but I like them to be easy. I really don't want to be spending hours and hours in the kitchen. It's just not my thing. I have a friend who expresses her creativity through cooking. But she raised 2 kids, she has a husband, she's an extrovert, she loves to host parties and things. Not me, honey. I'm an introvert who's written 19 books. When you write books like that, I read about 4 books a week. You spend a lot of time in your own company, which I enjoy. And so a lot of my creative energy goes into writing, reading. You've seen in some of these inspirational videos my visual artwork, my fashion design work. So there's only 24 hours in the day. I spend about 10 of them sleeping. I also have a day job. I just came off of NaNoWriMo, writing a novel. It's an experimental novel. It makes no sense, but it doesn't matter. I showed up for myself. I have written a readable novel. So, I'm choosing to spend my time, my creative energy, the time I invest in creative pursuits, not in the kitchen. There's nothing wrong with that, and when I do cook, I really do enjoy it. It is a creative endeavor, but I don't have time to make fresh soup every day. I just don't. Wait, let me rephrase that. I do have time to make fresh soup every day, but that would mean less sleep, less time to exercise. I exercise about 2.5 hours a day. It's a 90-minute walk. I do some stretching, some strength work. Certainly, I've written 19 books and counting, man. I can't write books if I'm in the kitchen all day. But every now and then I'm inspired. And I saw this actually, so I've also talked about in Inspiration Daily how one of my favorite things to do, that inspire me, is to troll the library, the stacks of the library. So, and then there are people who, folks donate magazines that they read. So anyway, this was a magazine that I plucked from the library, from the free bin, not the ones that they keep on the shelf in circulation. And I came across, it was a food magazine, and I'm not a quote foodie, but the pictures are glorious. And I actually I was going to use this in my collage work, and I still might, because I've already transcribed this recipe into a Word document. But that looks so delicious. So it inspired me to make it. Well, actually, I tried to cheat and not make it. So I called a friend of mine. She's like my play mom. And she loves to cook, and she does, when I go over to her house, she likes to cook meals. That's how she expresses her creativity. So I said, will you cook this soup for me? I emailed and she says, no, I'm not feeling it. I was like, all right, she's from New York, she's direct, and I respect that. I prefer that. Don't beat around the bush. So I'm like, good. I knew where I was, and I thought, well, who can I get to make this soup for me? I know people who do like to cook, who live close to me, and they have blenders, and I thought maybe I can, I said, if I shop for the ingredients, pay for the ingredients, and give them to you and the recipe, will you make the soup? So what happened was, when my play mom said, no, I'm not feeling the recipe, she did come back in a second email and say, but I will give you a blender. And I'm like, oh, sweet. All right. No, what happened was, no, I thought she was going to loan me a blender. And I'm like, no. And she said, oh, no, I'm going to give you a blender. I have two. She said, I don't need two. This one is like in my garage. I'm not using it. So I got a really nice free blender that I wasn't expecting. See, this is why inspiration is great. If you follow your inspiration, you never know. I got this blender that I didn't have to buy, and it's a really nice blender. And so I got so excited. I ran out and I got the ingredients, which I will put in the transcript, and I made this soup. Oh, God, it's fantastic. It's good. And I shared it with a couple people who were just deeply inspired as well. So I shared the recipe. I shared the actual soup with them. And then they asked for the recipe, of course, because it's deeply inspiring. So, yeah. Thai-style coconut and carrot soup. And I'm not a huge fan of, the coconut craze. I've never cared for coconut. I don't like the texture of it. I have a thing about texture when it comes to food. I don't like gelatinous foods. That said, I do love Thai food, and I know that coconut is a staple of the Thai kitchen. So I looked at the recipe and I thought, yeah, it'll be all right. And by the time you put in all the other fabulous stuff in it, the coconut milk was one of the ingredients that gives this delicious, healthy, truly comforting soup its body. So I love it. It inspired me to do something I usually don't do. And I started to say, which is the point of this year-long vlog, but that's not entirely true, because the inspirations I've shared are those that inspire me to do things I do anyway. It's just another source of inspiration. But I really don't spend a lot of time cooking. And so right now, I don't know, it's really hot. It's November 22nd, and it's hot in Florida, like 80 something degrees hot, 85 or something. Let me look at the temp here. Let me see okay, yeah, it's 80 degrees, and it would be hotter, but there's a cloud cover, which we actually love down here, or else we'd fry. So it's 80 degrees. That's why I'm dressed like this, and I'm getting ready to go for my walk. And so, but it can get cold here, and I hear we have a cold snap coming, which like it'll plummet to 45 degrees. I didn't know that about Florida before I moved here. So that's quite a dip, and it's a little shocking to the system. So that's when the soup comes in. All right, have a good one. Enjoy.